You found it. Your home for the best content on your favorite team, the Fighting Tigers of LSU. Do us a favor, subscribe to the channel, leave your comments below, and be sure to smash that like button. My goodness, Matt McMahon and the basketball Tigers are riding an absolute heater. It's amazing what bags full of cash can do. One of the funniest things that I hear, last week when Blaine Bradford committed to Ohio State, there were LSU fans like, man, he just took the money. Yeah! Everybody's taking the money. What are you talking about? LSU just signed the best transfer portal class in the country. You think people just came and just swarmed to Baton Rouge because they love gumbo? What are we talking about? Hell yeah, he wants the money. Everybody wants the money. The LSU basketball program has nothing to offer. I'm going to call it like it is. Like, you know when you talk about your crazy uncle? Like, I can talk about my crazy uncle because he's my uncle. If you talk about my crazy uncle, we going to fight? That's what this is like. I can say LSU basketball has nothing to offer. If someone from the outside comes in and starts taking shots, we go fight. Not literally fight, but you know what I'm saying. Yo, LSU is 3-15 in the SEC. They were awful. You have very little historically to hang your hat on. Amazingly, you've had these like meteoric spikes like Bob Pettit, top 50 all-time player in basketball. Pete Maravich, greatest scorer in the history of college basketball. Shaq. Like, boo, boo, boo. Like, you could put LSU's all-time starting five against anybody's, but everything in between is just historically awful. Dale Brown got to the tournament 13 straight years. You've had some nice moments. John Brady made a Final Four run. That team was so much fun to watch. You got to the tournament with Brandon Bass a couple times. You had the Sweet 16 team with Strohmile. But, like, you know, Marcus Thornton, you won the league under Trent Johnson when Marcus Thornton was SEC Player of the Year. Like, you've had some moments. But you have not had a foundational success. And you just don't have buy-in from your fan base. It's elation or apathy and nothing in between with LSU basketball. So, like, yeah, you have a bunch of dudes right now going in the portal who are being offered bags of cash to come play for a team that was 3-15, plays in arguably the worst physical venue in the SEC, for a team with a coach that a lot of fans wanted run out of here after this season, and they're just coming on down in droves. Why? Because you've got bags of cash you're handing to them. And so they're taking it. And good for them. And this might be to LSU's benefit as well. So the latest is Markel Sutton, who committed to LSU and signed over the weekend. He was the Summit League Player of the Year. We talked about Markel Sutton last week. Coming from Omaha. He made a visit to LSU. He was in with some other big-time programs as well. Nebraska was heavily recruiting him. Ultimately, he picks LSU. 6'9", 225. Love everything about him. The dude started 99 collegiate games, and he's a winner. He was the Summit League Player of the Year for a team that won its regular season and tournament championship and made an NCAA tournament appearance. They lost to St. John's. He checks a ton of boxes of what you don't presently have on your roster. I love adding Markel Sutton. This is a fantastic addition. And when you look at the way that Matt McMahon is building this roster through the transfer portal, it's very easy to see what he's doing. He's getting everything because you have nothing. You've seen already a half dozen players enter the portal. That's in addition to the guys that are out of eligibility. You've got 3 players returning. 3. You've got Givens, Robert Miller, Jalen Reed. That's it. Those are the only 3 scholarship players that are back. You've now added 5 players via the portal, and then you've got 3 freshmen coming in. By the way, as I understand, they're probably looking to add 1 more via the portal. And it's probably going to be a 2-guard or small forward, someone who can give you some scoring and some depth off the bench out on the wing, on the perimeter. Like, they're probably looking to add 1 more if it's the right fit. But you can see what they're doing. They go get DJ Thomas, top 10 overall player in the portal. There's your point guard. You've added Sutton, who we just talked about, and Mike Nwoko from Mississippi State, a 6'10", 245-pound big that was an every game starter for a tournament team out of the SEC this year in Mississippi State. So you got a dude that's proven that he can compete at this level on the block, and now you're adding a guy like Sutton who's going to look to take a dramatic step up in competition. You went and got Max McKinnon, who was a sharpshooter at Portland, and you've added Rashad King as well from Northeastern. Slasher, can get to the bucket and create his own shot. All 5 guys that you have signed have all very different skill sets that check every box, in addition to the 3 players you're bringing in and the 3 players you're bringing back. So, there's a couple of things here. Number one, there's a very real question of how many more are you looking to add? Because remember, next year, teams can offer 15 scholarships. The scholarship limit goes up. And it's also an equivalency sport, so you can offer partials if you want. So, but you can offer 15. It's my understanding that the consensus, not just at LSU, but just around the SEC, is that 15 scholarships is not the best way to go about using your revenue share money. Because remember, you're capped on rev share. So whatever percentage of the rev share, the $20.5 million, is designated earmarked for basketball, that's your basketball nut. And you got to divide it up among your scholarship players. The more players you add, the smaller piece of pie everybody gets. So if you're going to add someone, it's got to make sense. And I think most are thinking the best, most effective, efficient use of your NIL or your rev share funds is probably 11 to 13. Low number 11, high number 13. I don't know that you're going to see teams get to 15. That's number one. So, again, you're probably looking to add one more because as it stands now, you got 5 players in the portal, 3 returning, and 3 freshmen coming in. That's 11. One more would put him at 12 if they find the right person. As I understand, that's going to be probably a 2 or a 3. One thing that I've been asked, and I actually just got a text into the show text line from a guy named Brett, who said, speaking of men's basketball in the portal, does LSU in general like basketball? We support a winner, but is the NIL cost of building a winner worth it? Says basketball and NIL space seems expensive. This is an important note. It's a good question. It's a very good question. Because I've been asked a lot, hey, is it worth investing this money in basketball? Because in doing this, are you taking away from football or baseball or other sports that need it? And the answer flatly is no, you're not. I don't want to have like too high level of a convo that sails over people's heads. And I don't mean that as to be insulting. It's just there's a lot of layers to the conversation. And I've been very interested in this for 5 years. Not a lot of people are. But ultimately, just understand that LSU in the last 6 to 8 months has dramatically ramped up its fundraising such that they were able to fund the best transfer portal class in football and have enough of a surplus in addition to the rev share numbers to fund a great basketball roster. Now, here's the caveat. This is what's going to be interesting. I've been very transparent with numbers when I have them. Last year, the top of the league was spending around $8 million. LSU was sub 2. The middle of the league was in the $5 million range. LSU's not going to spend at the top of the league, but the thought was, look, we can be competitive in the middle of the league. And if you get the right guys, maybe you get a Janai Broome who comes in from Morehead State and becomes a National Player of the Year candidate, right? Maybe that's Markel Sutton. I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying it isn't, but you take your shot. Sometimes you hit, sometimes you miss. We'll see. But the point is, because it's a moment in time where we talked about this with football, where all of these teams are front-loading NIL deals because when the House settlement goes into effect, and come this summer, when rev share is in effect, you can no longer do NIL deals as they're presently done through collectives. Like, collectives can't just say, here, sign in an autograph, and here's $500K. Everything will have to go through the clearinghouse. So any NIL deal over $600 has to go through the clearinghouse. A clearinghouse with Deloitte isn't going to approve $1 million NIL deal where someone makes like 2 appearances. It's just not going to happen. It's got to be market value. as determined by that clearinghouse. So what you have right now is collectives that have been raising money for 4 years, sitting on mountains of cash that come July 1, may not be able to spend it anymore. So what are they doing? They're dumping it right now. And they're structuring deals to where, hey, look, this is a multi-year, however you may say it, but we're front-loading the deal now because we have the cash now. So that benefited LSU football, and right now that's benefiting LSU basketball. But what's happened is the market's gone up. Some of the conversations I had last week and this weekend that the top of the league, the top of the SEC next year in basketball, are looking to spend $10 to $12 million. Like Kentucky is going to be in the $10 to $12 million range. Like LSU ain't going to touch that. I think they came in to this portal cycle thinking spending the $5 million range, and they're very quickly realizing you're going to have to spend more. How much more? I don't know. If I ever hear that number, I'll tell it to you. But I'm very candidly telling you I don't know that number. Like, I don't know how much LSU is going to spend on this class. What I will tell you is they're spending more than they intended to. But that is not going to be to the detriment of LSU football or baseball or other sports. It's money they had earmarked and ready to go to help make a contender in basketball. And the weird thing, like this odd sort of juxtaposition is I guess it's actually this sort of dramatic irony too, where the thing that contributes to you losing is ultimately what's going to help you win. Meaning, like, seeing Bryce Underwood flip created such a visceral reaction among LSU's benefactors that the members of the collective and fundraisers were able to say, you see, like, this is what they are capable of and we are not. And it stirred this reaction, and they were able to fundraise. LSU basketball being terrible this year stirred a reaction to say, if you want to be good, we have to go spend more than $1.2 million. Do you want to be good? And a lot of benefactors have stepped up and said, yes, we do. And so they've dumped money into the collective, and God bless those people for their willingness to do it. Now you have to go hit on those players. That's the key. And we'll see if they do. And if Matt McMahon can coach them up. And that's ultimately going to determine his job security for next year and beyond. But the success that LSU is having right now in the basketball portal is not coming at the expense of any other program. The real question is, they're getting all these guys. Will they hit on all these guys? Will the ones they've chosen and that they're spending on actually translate from mid-major to the best basketball conference in the country? Are you going to have that level of success identifying these mid-majors that are taking the next step up in competition? Can Matt McMahon get them all to blend together and make beautiful music in 1 year and get back to the tournament? Because I'm going to tell you right now, you go spend what LSU's spending on this basketball roster, the baseline expectation for next season, baseline, is you better hear your name called on Selection Sunday. If that doesn't happen, then Matt McMahon ain't the guy, and he's going to have to go. I think he knows it, and I think everyone associated with this program knows it. But what they've done so far is mightily impressive. And they ain't doing it because the sauce pecan at Chimes is awesome. By the way, I do love the duck and sausage gumbo at Chimes. It's fantastic. But ain't none of these kids committing because of that. They're committing because they're getting money. So before you criticize any other school ever for landing a player because they busted out the checkbook, y'all doing the same thing. And everybody that's winning is doing the same thing. Because it's what you have to do to be able to win now. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.